Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So we're back after a few days off. So hope everybody had a good last few days and holiday weekend if you're in the U.S. We're going to continue on where we left off last week, last Friday. We started on actually showing what templates are. So we'll continue on that today. We'll kind of review what we did on Friday. Then, more specifically today, what I'm hoping to actually cover is talking about security and actually showing how we can kind of enforce or provide security and compliance through these templates. That's really, to me, what I'm most excited about using these templates for is to help that. I personally, was thinking about this before today started, and you know, to want to create a whole bunch of templates and for every type of build, I don't know. I think where I'd want to start is just creating some basic ones with some compliance in there to kind of build some guardrails for the developers. So they don't have to remember to put everything in there, and we could actually enforce some of the compliance pieces there. So that's how I'm going to look at it. I'd be curious what you guys' thoughts. Um, Feel free to drop a note in the chat window if if you're using templates already and how you're using them, or kind of how you think about it. But for my thought, you could create like a CI for Angular, a CI for React, a CI for .NET Core, templates, and have a lot of those stuff built in, and just basically have developers do kind of what's the deltas of those. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to make it too complex. I don't want to have like 100 templates that people have to figure out what to use. I mean, these are relatively easy. So again, it just kind of looked like to maybe think about it as guardrails. At least that's where I'm going to start. Maybe where I end up will be more rigid, but that's kind of the initial start there. So we'll go in through that. We'll look at some examples. Also want to show how, again, being able to enforce that through environments. I'm pretty excited to try that out. And look at how we can inject some of the security tasks in there. So we'll look at that. And then we'll go back and add the template to our pipeline we built last week. So that'll be cool. And then last, well, I don't know if we'll get to this, but I kind of want to look at like actually having like a templates repo, because I do think a centralized template repo with probably some security around it to help again help drive enforce the security and compliance to kind of really help kind of provide some separation of duties, if you will. So let's get started here. So if you haven't joined one of the sessions yet, my name is Mike Douglas. I'm a Microsoft MVP. I'm a solution consultant for Deliver on Consulting Services, which is part of Greenhouse Data. I do a lot of blogging. Well, I try to anyway. That's actually why I do this. This is actually me learning what I need to learn to put into the blog. So this is awesome. So I'll be having a couple blog posts here, hopefully shortly, on what I've been streaming about the last couple days. So that's me. There's a couple things here. I do have a repo because every Twitch stream needs a repo. So we have a Git repo here just called Twitch Streaming. You can see up here, GitHub, Mike Douglas Dev, Twitch Streaming. And in here has all the information about the show. So we have the channel on Twitch. We have a board of the topics that I'll show you in just a second. We're using a public project in Azure DevOps. So what that means is you can actually go out and view everything we're doing. So you can see the pipelines, you can see the repos. I'm pretty sure you can clone them and do all that stuff. If you can't, let me know. But I think that's the idea there. I have moved all the shows, previously recorded shows, out to YouTube, because I think Twitch will eventually remove them. I'm not sure if it's 14 or 60, but they'll eventually remove them out there. They're there right now, but these links now do take you to the YouTube version. So here, the first series we did was just learning about multi-stage YAML pipelines. We learned quite a bit on that, over 3 episodes there. And then Friday, our last episode was starting about the templates. and today will be a continuation. So the other thing that I wanted to show real quick, whoops, right down here is our project dashboard. So this shows where we're at on our different show topics. We finished our first show topic today. I hope to kind of finish this one. There's probably a lot more we could cover in this one, but I want to keep it kind of agile, and let's keep these a little more specific, and we can always add different topics later. I do want this to be driven by everybody in the audience, so please, if you have a topic you'd like to go through, right now these are all I'd call, maybe I'll probably tag these with my learning series. And the learning series means I know some, but I don't know all the details. And then I'll have the demo series, where those are topics that I know quite a bit about. I've done quite a few demos, and so I want to do a weekend show that has more of the that actually is more of a demo show, where it's just me basically going through and demoing everything. But you can see some upcoming ones. If you want to add any topics, just come out here to the stream, Twitch streaming, come out here to the issues, and then feel free to add an issue there, and we'll get that added to the board and prioritized. And feel free to add comments to even vote it up too. So far it's just been me, but feel free to post more. So, all right, well, let's get started. So I hope there's couple of people on. If you're on, feel free to chat and say hi to everyone. Let me know, make sure audio, all that stuff's good. All right, so let's see. So here is our project. Here's what we created last week. We most of these were from actually not most of them. We had 3 of these that are from our actual learning about the multi-stage pipelines, 2 PR builds and a full CI/CD pipeline. And then the other 3 are for what we actually did for the example. So we can actually come here real quick. I just wanted to show it before we get too far down. Well, they're still in this branch. So in this branch, we have a number of templates. I didn't put all of them into the templates folder, which I probably should have going forward, but I did try to include kind of sending conventions. So in this case here, we have the include NPM tasks. And you can show here's how we're doing an include with the template, which basically just injects a couple tasks in there. In this case, we're just doing the npm install. We tried to do a couple more things, actually do a vulnerability scan, and that didn't quite work, but that's half the fun. So we had that. We did have this extend from start, and again, extends template here, and the different build steps. So that's essentially what we did last week, or on Friday. So we'll continue to work from there. And here's kind of the what we want to go through today. It's basically security through the templates. This is a good kind of walkthrough of what we're really going to do. We're really going to be looking at extending them to basically help provide that security. And you can see, again, just kind of an example here. We have our template with kind of the user steps. In this case, we're basically just bringing in the user steps. In this case, our pipeline extends our template, and then there's our different steps in there. There's definitely a lot of different security type things. In this case, we can actually, if we specify things in our template, then you can't really specify anything outside of that in your actual build. Sorry, so the build here in this case, we have our we're specifying that we want to build this on a container, not on one of the hosted agents, so that kind of prevents that. Here with this one, we're basically saying that if in this case, like the publish artifacts, our command is restricted, so that'll basically prevent it in there, so it actually won't be able to do that. we can actually inject stages or jobs. In this case, we're only going to run the steps if we're coming from the master branch. So if this is coming off of like a PR, or I'm trying to maybe I'm trying to maliciously run something from my branch. That was a backdoor I found a long time ago. With some of the pull request stuff, I had to get something in. I'm like, oh, I could just kick off the pipeline or the build from mine branch and then deploy it from there. Obviously, there's ways to lock that down, but back in probably 2015 when everything first came out, I don't know if we had that control or I just didn't know about it. But yeah, so if there's a backdoor, and most of the time it's not malicious, right? Developers just want to get stuff out. They don't. All the security stuff is, just in our way. So we, we'll find a way to get stuff deployed. But always usually with the best intention. So here then we've got the again, that's how we can actually control what's actually being deployed there. Here we can actually, in this case, if let's say in our template, we want to prevent any kind of script tasks. So we don't want, because I mean, if you allow like PowerShell, Bash, or command line tasks, the developer can basically do anything they want. We could restrict all those. In this case, we're just restricting the script one, but if they try to do something here, this is actually going to loop through and make sure, not equal to script, and then it will actually echo these out, the task and then the value. So that's a way to kind of strip out this script one. Obviously, we need to say or bash or whatever the task might be. But that's a way to actually prevent that or to do that. This one here, type safe parameters. There's a way to actually make type safe parameters here. So in this case, user pool, making sure that there's a user pool actually implemented. So again, making sure that things are enforced there. Let's see, set required templates. So this is actually the part where I'm really interested about. We'll probably create like a simple one and then go ahead and actually set this. So in last week's multi-stage pipelines, we created environments, and then in the production one, we added our approval stage. In addition to that, we can actually make sure the template is there. So we'll go ahead and add that into it to make sure that is there. And this is the other piece here, adding additional steps. This is probably where I want to jump to pretty quickly. And in this case, we're going to add, well, this one's a cred scan. I do have this task. We can actually add that if we want to, which would be kind of interesting. So maybe we can do the cred scan. And the cred scan does nothing more than, well, actually, it does a lot, but it did, what that does is actually make sure that our we don't accidentally check in like a password or our key, something like that, especially at a public repo, because then everybody would have access to it. And of course, that would never happen to us, but I've done it before, or I've been debugging, editing like a local web config file, and then all of a sudden accidentally checked it in with everything else. So anyway, let's get started here. Enough of just kind of showing. Let's go in and take a look. So we'll come out here. Maybe we'll build our new template here, and then we'll just maybe call it security.yaml, just to keep it a simple name. Okay, so let's jump right into this example, because this is really kind of what I want to make sure it does. So we'll come in and add that here. We'll paste it, maybe. So again, we're just bringing in all the jobs. So for each job, we're basically going to just do all of the steps in there and then make sure it does that. We'll go ahead and add a step first. And then we'll add in all the job steps. And then we will, I guess, publish telemetry one. Oh, I'm not sure what that one does. Guess we'll see if that one works along with this one. Oh, we don't have the tools there, but we'll go ahead and commit this. Added our YAML templates. All right, so we have our security one. So let's just add a real basic template. So let's add a basic from security pipeline .yaml. All right, so here is now our pipeline that we're going to bring in. We'll just come up here and look at maybe something real simple. In this case, maybe we'll look at the API one. Where did I put that? NG6 users, NG6. It's probably right here in front of me. Oh, you know what? I bet it's in another branch. So we'll just use. We'll stay. We'll add a new tab. Let's switch back here and interesting. Well, let's go find it. So we want our API. That's what, oh, of course it's in a different template, so, or different repo. That makes sense because it is a different project. So actually that's not what we want to do. But let's, we do want to open up we will do this. And then let's come back and do basic build. So now we have our simple node stuff. And basically what we want to do, and let's come back here to our template and show how we can extend that. So we want to extend, let's see here. Let's go back to our first templates branch. And then let's go back and look at our template again, our security one. So in this case, we are basically going through each job. So I don't think we've got a lot of specifics that we need to worry about there. So then if we come back and look at, let's say, our extend from start. You know, we want to keep our trigger. Actually, don't want the trigger. We want to get rid of all our triggers. But we want to definitely extend this out. And so we'll leave our pool in there. There's showing that we're going to extend. In this case, we want to do a templates / security. And then now we want to make sure we have a job. So let's look at our multi-stage one. And basically we have jobs and then we have our steps after that. So that, I'm hoping we can just see if that looks about how we have this one. Nope, jobs was, or steps was directly underneath. Oh, that's right, we're not editing an actual editor. but that's okay, and we'll see if that looks right. All right, it looks good to everybody else. Oh, sorry about my chair. And here we go. So now we're gonna do our build. We'll have white source. I'll probably move this into the security template after this works, and I just want to see how this does. All right, so now let's go create a new pipeline. And we'll do Azure repos. Here's that. We'll do an existing pipeline. And basic from security pipeline. That looks good, no squigglies, so hopefully that means we're good there. Good, so there's the CRED scanner, so we do have that one. What was the other one called? Publish my telemetry. Publish. Maybe that's the security analysis logs, which would make sense. Basically after the CRED scan. So this is actually pretty cool. I'll probably go over this in a future one. I've used it in the UI, but I haven't done it with the YAML stuff yet. But this is part of the Microsoft security code analysis extension, which you can purchase and add on to yours to provide a lot of good security things. So we'll show that. All right, we failed right out of the gate, so that's what we should be doing. All right, so extends was unexpected. So let's go back to our template from last time. Extend. All right, so trigger extends with parameters. So we have our trigger, our pool. I don't know if this needs to be, or maybe all this needs to be underneath. Unexpected. Does this have to be up? Property missing stages. Okay, so let's take a look here. We are doing, here was the jobs one, so let's take, so jobs, build normal, steps, so all that's normal. Actually, this is the template itself. So here was our template, but we did most of these last week. So I don't know if, variable reuse, other repositories. Expressions, I think it starts to get a little fancy here. Jobs template. Let's look up here on the extend again. All right, so we have our start YAML, and then here we have our trigger, and then extends, and then parameters and build steps. I guess we need to maybe put in a sure why. Oops. Extends template should indent from that. It's interesting to know it actually was happy. Bad indentation. Let's see stages. I wonder why we need that. All right, so let's go back to our CD here. So we have our trigger, pool, stages, and jobs. But I don't see why we need. We have trigger, master, pool. Trigger. Extends. Guess that's why we're learning here. So we've got our extend from start, trigger, master, let's move this over to Notepad, and then we'll start from the beginning. All right, so trigger, I don't know why. We would need anything more than trigger and extends, template, unless it all right, we're just going to start from the very beginning. Really don't need comments. All right, so I guess we just need to ignore. Okay, that's good. Parameters, expects an object, sure. All right, so that's good there. I don't think we need to run that. And now with this one, I believe we specified our jobs and what we want to actually input. So let's just do something really simple here. And now that I'll install Node, go from there. All right, no error messages. Let's see if that actually works. I'd rather us find out early. Mapping was not expected in lines 3-3. So mapping, so that's our parameters jobs. security YAML, parameters jobs. Wow, I sure think that looks pretty good to me. But who am I? Let's go down here. Additional steps. Again, parameters, jobs. That will give us essentially an array. And we can loop through the jobs. Well, indentation right? Looks like it. Underneath the R. Underneath the R. We run this. Let's do the diagnostics. Maybe we'll give us some details. Mapping was not expected. Well, let's see why that's the case. When in doubt, well, that's Bing, right? All right, learning that task PowerShell. You should put tasks after the steps. Well, that didn't help. We knew that part. Let's do a template. Parameters. Steps. Interesting. Well, there's the my array. My array. Sequence was not expected. And looks there. All right, well, let's go back. That's not really finding an answer. I mean, it should be so simple. We're just filling here on the first line, jobs. And all we're doing is a very simple job CI and doing the most basic step in there. Nothing like learning on the fly with everybody watching. Okay, so we've got our master, extends our template. We've got our parameters. We're building out our jobs array here. Again, looking at this. Won't really show what the source looks like, but it should be pretty much that. Let's look. Do we have any other examples of an array? Parameter, values. There's one for user steps. So user steps. That's interesting. A step list is the type. Do we need a jobs list? This is the security one. Let's look here at the jobs. Is there a stage list, job list? Let's try that. Which is probably what this is the shorthand for. Now I look at it. Parameters. So yeah, so it'd be basically name. It's like again how that is, so that is directly under the P. All right, let's see if maybe doing this more long version of it, and then we'll come back and see if that jobs is not a valid job list. Different templates. The job list is a sequence of jobs. It's kind of like the step list. That brings it to jobs, job. So template, string, job templates. Here we go. Let's see if this looks right. And oh, my co-host is here. My dog. All right. So in this case, we have parameters. That's the YAML, template, name, parameters. In the main pipeline, in the included, parameters. Doesn't seem like set that. Let's see if that gets us anywhere. Not feeling too confident about that one, but trial and error. Nope. Security, unexpected value, tick, job. Well, that's super frustrating. so this is our YAML. So our parameters here are named build steps. It's type step list. And then here we have build steps. So these names have to match, which makes sense. Let's add that. So that matches. Type be job list. Default again will be blank. So now that matches exactly what we have for our other one. And then here we're coming down and doing our build steps here. Versus parameters.jobs. So I think we need to make that lowercase. Now let's come back and try this. Jobs is not a parameter. Unexpected value inputs. Well, let's try Googling this one more time. No, that didn't do it. Let's see if Google has some better luck. So we've got one run panel with parameters. Job list. Looks like we're just building the documentation here. Well, this is exactly what I want to do. So jobs is not a parameter. There we go. So line 12, column 11. Oh, the tab's off. All right, so we're actually doing better now. Let's, instead of doing the cred scale, actually, let's do this. Actually do V2. All right, so See if we can change that to 2. I don't know about, we'll try that too. I forgot about it. We'll see if it's as simple as that. Alright, so Polish my telemetry wasn't there, so we'll do run that. So let's add this condition always to this. There we go. You can tell. Let's see if Microsoft will fix their examples here. All right. The immortal words of Lego Batman. First try. Of course, it needs Windows. That's easy to fix. Let's come back here. So it's that one. I always love the names. Oh, let's see. All right, so it did not like. Wait a minute, should we have that on here? No. I can never remember. One of these days I'll. Let's just look at our. Here. Should have done that. Right after the trigger. Seems good. Let's see what it. Okay, maybe we can't put it there. That's okay. Let's go back and edit our security. I think we can. Let's see if it likes that better. Probably not. All right. Basic from, no, not basic. We want to extend from start. I did not put a. Start. Do I have it in here? I guess I did have it at stage. Okay. Oops. Stage. All right. Ooh, I bet that's not going to be good. So probably need to indent. All right. All right. Let's see if we get better luck with that. All right, we're on good old step one of what I wanted to do today. But that's all right, we're learning. All right, so now we should be running on a Windows machine. Let's see here. Yeah, Azure Pipelines 8. Operating system. There it is, Windows Server 2016. We're running cred scan. Cool. Publishing the results, and now we are done. Cool. So let's see, we should have code analysis, cred scanner. I guess all we get is the XML version of that. Defects version, so yep, didn't find anything. Cool. So again, just to kind of show again our template. The thing I really like about this is I'm not doing like, a couple of those templates had things called like build steps and non-standard stuff. I'd really like to keep the templates using standard items instead of like some custom named thing. So like jobs is a real item. If I made this build jobs or something like that, then people have to like learn some new syntax. In this case, the only thing you really have to do different is put what you normally put maybe under a stage and put it under the parameters. And everything else seems normal. So I do like that. I think that's pretty good there. So we've got 6 minutes left. Instead of like worrying about the rest of those steps, because truthfully that doesn't matter. Let's go now to our environments here. And actually, let's go to prod. And in our prod one, let's actually add an approval, or not approval, but a check here and say required template. Let's add, so we can specify where. And which would, again, would probably most of the time not be our same repo. Oops, ng6 users. So it's actually not going to be in master, right? It's going to be in first templates. And then we want to go templates, security, .yaml. All right, so that's our first template there. We'll add that request. Now, I've only added in for prod. I'm just kind of curious. I think normally I'd want to do it for both. But what I really wanted to see here is that if we actually run our, looks like one still has the trigger on there. I don't know if I can cancel that. It's got a few of them there. This looks like a real easy way to cancel that. So we'll actually come down here now. So if we come here to our NG6 users, if we remember from last week, this is actually using the environment. So here's our environment, NG6 user dev, and then down here we want our NG6 user prod. So I'm curious if it'll make it past the dev one and stop at the prod one. I would think that would be the case, but I don't know if it checks before it runs at all. Well, let's see what happens. This one does take a minute because it because my Angular project has a few extra dependencies in there that I did on purpose. But I want to see if we can get this environment piece working before we wrap up for the day. So we might go a couple minutes over. Just double checking I don't have a meeting. Not yet, so that's good. And we'll see. Like I said, this one, I don't know why, fortunately it takes about a minute and a half. All good. So yeah, so that's pretty exciting. So we did kind of make it through some examples. We did talk about how we can inject tasks. That was the main thing I wanted to do. And now we're actually going back to this one. So actually we made it pretty far down our list. We'll be just about 5 minutes over. And we'll get this to a good stopping point. So again, we'll see I'm expecting dev to succeed and then prod to fail. All right, so that was only 1 minute, 7 seconds, not too bad. Yeah, we'll come down here. I hope this works. I just realized I think my Visual Studio subscription might be disabled. Oh, that'd be super unfortunate. If that's the case, we'll comment out a few of these tasks and just see if we can get it to succeed. Well, it looks like it's doing something. All right, perfect. I guess it, well, not perfect. Let's make sure it goes to this part first. And so it is succeeding with dev. And now hopefully this one should prompt for approval. But not here, I guess. Ooh, 0 true checks passed. Cool. So there is the approval and the required template failed. Nice. All right, well, there's not the required template. We're not approving that. All right, let's edit our pipeline. actually, kind of don't want to mess this one up. So let's real quick come over here, we'll add a new file. We'll say the G6 users security CI/CD YAML. All right. So I just thought I'd create a new one here, just so we don't mess this one up. Of course, it always seems like this will be easier when it's until we get there. But in this case, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works with all this. Because we actually have the this might take a little longer than I was hoping. We'll see what we can get in just a couple minutes. So let's, again, I like to keep it as simple as possible. Let's just put that here for now. I don't know if we'll have this for every stage. Extends. All right, that's what we did before. Basic from, so yeah, so we do our extends and template and parameters right below job. So we'll see. I think we can do that. Seems like a little bit much on the there, but let's try and see what that does. Commit. Oh, it's nice we can actually work on it from the other side, so we'll create a quick pipeline. New. Get from existing. We're still in our doesn't look like it's angry. It's always a good sign. Let's see if that works. Nope. Mapping are not allowed in this context. So line 20, column 12. Line 20, column 12. Oops. So here, I don't know if we can extend. Well, I think we're not going to have time to finish this. So My thought is since we're actually at a higher level, we actually have stages. I think we should actually extend our stage and basically do the same thing we were doing before, but actually do it at the stage level. So we'll begin that. So I can't tomorrow do this, but Friday we'll be back same time, and let's finish this. Let's change this to stages, and then we'll not change this, but we'll change our template from being at the job level to the stages, and then we'll have it iterate all the way down. And then that way we should be able to, in here, extend it once and then have all of our things. I don't think we can do the extend multiple times. If we wanted to do inject, I think you can do that multiple times, but I'm guessing the extend is just a one-time deal. So that's probably our issue, and so we'll pick that up on Friday. All right, thanks everybody for joining. Have a great day or evening, and we'll talk to you on Friday. Bye.